Hello lovely human beings, it's Loretta with Sparrowhawker Designs. Welcome back to my channel. I have finished the texture book for my granddaughter that I had been working on. It was my slow stitch project for, I guess, the beginning of this year. Well, maybe part of last year. I don't really remember when I started it. Anyway, I was originally going to embroider a bunch of flowers with a house in the middle, but I found this, I don't know, I guess it's a dresser scarf, and it had this pretty little filigree looking stuff already done, and I thought, oh, that's really pretty, so I decided to go with this instead. So it's I embroidered Ida's town in there, and in this little netted part, I kind of cut open a little piece of it and I stuffed some cheesecloth down in there. And then just some, I think that's some kind of yarn. And then some little size 11 seed beads in there. This is, the embroidery thread for this was a size 5, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. And it's variegated, of course. And then over here I just have some feather stitch with just regular DMC thread. Some trim. On the back I had two, obviously I had two of these because it was originally a set. And I used one of them in my crazy quilt, I do believe. So I had one left over, and it's a child's size glove, so I thought it would look really good on here. And it's just beautiful, beautiful crochet. Just gorgeous. Anyway, all right, let's get it. You guys have seen all of the houses already. So I went through and added trim. So I put them on pieces of fabric that were bigger than the blocks were, and then I added some on the front and the back one. I added a big piece of lace, and then just some trim here. I think I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 things of trim there. So this is some vintage trim down here. This is the first house in her neighborhood. In between each page, I put some cheesecloth. You'll notice in the, let's see, in the bird song book, in between each page, I put this. It's just because I don't care for just that plain, because you don't want to put your pages too close, because then the edges start turning up. So you got to leave some space there. Some people don't mind that space, and I guess it also depends on like what fabric you use to put your pages on. But I like to put something in the middle. It just adds more dimension and more things to look at, but you certainly do not have to. Yeah, I'm trying to think, is that it? Yeah. So anyway, with this one, I decided just to go with some cheesecloth. And this is it's a texture book. So in other words, she can feel all the different textures and learn about different things, right? Like this is fuzzy and this is stringy, and there are beads here. If you're going to make one of these for somebody who is young enough that they put things in their mouth, then you might not want to put the beads. This particular granddaughter has never really chewed on things and put these kind of things in her mouth, and she's old enough now that I think she'll be fine. Anyway, so I kind of like the cheesecloth because it's just whimsical and it just adds more texture for her. Here's the Hobbit house in the neighborhood, because you have to have a Hobbit house in the neighborhood. And Bilbo Baggins lived at number 3 Bag End, so that's why this is the third one. I have videos on all of the houses individually, if you if you want to see more up close of the houses. This was a neat little trim. I got this off of, I think it was a shower curtain. I think that's what it was. And yeah, so anyway. It's a vintage button from like the 1920s. Some more of that shower curtain. I really liked that. So I put, so there's a piece of fabric here, and I put this house and this house together, and then I just added trim so that it wasn't so abrupt. And then this is her page. This is her and her birth date. And there's some, love this pink and blue tatting right here. Some vintage trim. And here's the birdhouse, because you've got to have a birdhouse in the neighborhood. I will put some up-close pictures of this on my Facebook page and on my Instagram if you wanted to see more close-up images. Plus, like I said, there are videos on each one of these pages. The last page in the book, I think, ended up being my favorite. It's hard to pick, really, because I love the Hobbit house, and but I also love the color scheme on this one, and I love the double-decker of this one with all the tatting. Yeah, and I love the vintage quilt piece there of the fuzzies. I love the bird here, and just, this is one of my dad's old shirts, so that's kind of cool. But I don't know, this one just makes me happy. I think it's the flower fabric in this pink and purple plaid, and it's just so colorful. So yep, added trims down here, trims here on the edge. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, I guess, there on the edge. So my goal with this project was to use all of my, okay, not all of them, but to try to dwindle down my stash of plaids. And I did use some. There's no way it didn't even make a dent in my plaids. But that was the goal, was that each house was to be made out of plaids. Because I love plaids. And I thought about doing the cover in a plaid as well, right? But I don't know. I was just going through my drawer of slow stitching things, and I just came upon this old dresser scarf, and I just liked it. And I thought, you know what, I can just use the whole dresser scarf here rather than, cut it up or whatever. So I did. Anyway. So yeah, this is done. Yay! This was for her birthday in March, which, I'm a little late, but my track record, I'm actually kind of early, because when I'm late, I'm usually 6 months to a year late on something, and I'm only like 6 weeks late. So I thought that was pretty good. Anyway, it's a beautiful day here today. The peonies have bloomed. Not all of them. I think there's one bush still left to bloom. And it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, right? That's the theme of this book. All right, guys. This was one of my maternity dresses. So yeah, this was fun, and this was one of my son's shirts. So it's kind of cool to add. This was also one of my maternity dresses. So it's kind of cool to add little pieces of things. And my oldest is 35, so you know how old some of this fabric is. It's kind of fun to add little pieces like that have some kind of meaning, right? Like this one was my dad's, and he's been gone for a long time. So anyway, I hope you all had fun following along with this, and I will see you with my next project. So bye.